I have never been someone who cared much about graphics or the visual appearance of a game, book, or whatever, but rather the idea that is trying to be conveyed. However, I am also not blind to great art, and personally, to me, this is some of the greatest art I have ever seen done in tribute to the Lovecraft mythos. The Call of Cthulhu, I suspect, is the most adapted story of H.P. Lovecraft. Don't quote me on that, it's just from my observations. No doubt this is helped by the fact that the story is in the public domain and free to use. As such, I've seen a lot of adaptations in my time. Always books with the same original text of Lovecraft's work, but with various artworks placed here and there after every few pages. Not that this is a bad thing at all, mind you. This book is of course Lovecraft's original text, copied and pasted, and that's a very good thing. Lovecraft's stories are perfect as they are, and he himself was vehemently against altering even a word of his tales to suit publishers' demands. This book is obviously the Spanish translation though. I recently was in Madrid and I came back with a whole bunch of Lovecraft books. If you haven't checked out that video yet, check it out on my channel, it's really a good one. Luckily, a subscriber of mine brought it to my attention that this book is available in English, and I found places to buy it online. More on that later. However, this book differs from typical adaptations of H.P. Lovecraft's story in that the artwork is the dominant feature, not the text, though yes, this is the full story, not some abridged version. Almost every single page features art, with only a couple just having text alone. And typically each artwork or scene is spread over 2 pages, making turning each page an unexpected surprise as to what you'll be seeing. The quality of the book is also important to mention. The paper is of great quality, very thick and smooth on the fingertips. The binding is all very good too, and it's obviously not a cheaply made book. Of course, it is a hardcover and a strong one too. I only mention all this because I think that this is a book you'll be wanting to keep for a very long time. The size of the book is truly massive. It's the biggest book that I own. It measures 36 centimeters in length and 27 centimeters in width. For my American friends, that's about 14 inches by 10.5 inches. You may have to store this one horizontally in your bookshelf. The size is a good thing because such detailed and beautiful art deserves a big canvas to be appreciated on. Speaking of the art, let's talk about that. The art depicts the story of the Call of Cthulhu from start to finish, of course. Each scene is very much recognizable as coming from the story. The scene when the voodoo orgy is discovered by Legrasse and his men, the discovery of Arle by Johansen the sailor, the Cthulhu idol, and of course Cthulhu himself. However, there are also scenes which I'm glad are included. Smaller, less action-packed scenes, for example Henry Anthony Wilcox creating the bas-relief of Cthulhu from his dreams, scenes from an asylum at night, and so on. One page showed a scene from eons ago when Cthulhu first came to Earth, and another showed exactly what would happen to humanity if Cthulhu awakens. That scene, man, it's like it gives the impression that 100 nuclear bombs would be a mere inconvenience to humanity compared to the utter destruction this blasphemous monstrosity could inflict upon us. It was unexpected and appreciated since that's not typically a scene depicted in books. Each scene, each artwork is done with immense detail. There is absolutely no sign that the artist got lazy or took a shortcut in his depictions. I got the impression that the artist, in order to achieve such vivid detail, would have to be painting these scenes using a photograph as a reference. Pickman's model, anyone? One thing I noticed was the lighting in each scene. You often see talk of lighting in video games to set the scenes, ambient lighting or however you call it, occlusion, or I forget the term. Well, here is that equivalent. Examples will be how the light shines through hospital windows at night, the electric torches of Legrasse's men in the swamp, and the lightning and thunder depicted upon Cthulhu's awakening. In scenes where, for example, Henry Anthony Wilcox is painting, you can see dust particles in the light coming through the windows. When Cthulhu awakens during the storm, you can see the rain falling. It makes every scene seem very much alive. Another thing to point out, and this one is the most impressive thing for me, was the immense sense of movement and life in the pictures. This is especially evident in the scenes on Arle. When Cthulhu is moving, the tentacles waving in the air, the waves are smashing on the rocks and rising high, the stormy weather where even the rain is depicted, all these things made it like I could actually easily in my mind see the pictures moving. Along with being almost able to see the pictures moving was the ability to hear them. Now this is a weird concept, but bear with me. I've never had the sensation when looking at a picture that I felt like I could actually hear what is happening there. By this I mean I can imagine or try to imagine what I could be hearing in each scene. I can hear the waves, the screams of the sailors, the sounds of breaking rocks as Cthulhu climbs out of his tomb, and even attempt to imagine what sounds Cthulhu would be making. This in turn made me think of a couple passages from the story.
Hieroglyphics had covered the walls and pillars, and from some undetermined point below had come a voice that was not a voice, a chaotic sensation which only fancy could transmute into sound. There was a bursting as of an exploding bladder, a slushy nastiness as of a cloven sunfish, a stench as of 1,000 opened graves, and a sound that the chronicler could not put on paper.
So yes, it sounds crazy, but I feel like I can actually see the pictures move and I can hear them. It's a very strange sensation. The art is also very, very realistic. It is not so real. The artist didn't take too many liberties in depicting things in ways which would seem unrealistic in real life. By that I mean, humans look normal, the cities look realistic, and so on. Again, it looks like the scenes were painted from photographs. Of course, I need to mention who the artist is. His name is François Baranger. Baranger? Well, it's French. A French artist based in Paris. He is not solely focused on Lovecraft, of course, but to me this is his magnum opus. Upon further searching, I have discovered that he has adapted, or is in the process of adapting, a 2-volume version of At the Mountains of Madness in the same style as well. I could only find a French version on sale. I will leave a link in the video description where you can see more of his art, and I'll also leave a link to that French version for any Frenchies in the audience. So, that's my short book review and my impressions. Ironically, for someone who has a YouTube channel focused on a literary figure, I don't seem to review many books. So, in line with my resolution of 2020 to be a better YouTuber, I thought it would be a good start with the most beautiful book that I own. I know you guys like the more visual book reviews that I've done in the past. I hope you like this review, and I know many of you are aware of Go Tanabe's At the Mountains of Madness manga adaptation. I own those 2 books already, and the video is in the works and coming eventually to this channel. Anyway, I will leave a link in this video's description where you can buy this amazing book, the English version that is, for about $30 or 30 euros or the equivalent in your currency, including free and fast shipping to almost anywhere in the world. Do you guys have any other recommendations for visually appealing Lovecraft adaptations? Let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can buy those. Thanks for watching and see you guys very soon. Cheers.